They stole the money, they stole the masters.
1, 2, 3, 4. Get up. Let's take the sheet. Get on up. Wait a minute, let's take some harm. Don't take the space. Going to the distance.
Some of them even tried to steal the name off the record label. But these 10 legends didn't stay victims. They fought back.
Got to shake that sound.
And turned that fight into the greatest music of the 1970s. Welcome to Soul Letters. I'm your host for tonight's countdown. And remember,
this ain't no place to be if you plan on being a star.
We remember, so you never have to forget. Number 10, The Stylistics, Betcha by Golly Wow, 1972. Before they were legends, the Stylistics were just teenagers from Philadelphia, signing contracts they barely understood for a career they'd only dreamed about. Two local groups, the Monarchs and the Percussions, merged into one act in 1968, hungry enough to sign whatever was put in front of them. That hunger came at a price. Early management deals locked the group into terms that gave them fame, but very little of the fortune that fame was generating. It's a story that repeated across black music in that era. The machine took the profits. The artist took the applause. What saved them was talent that couldn't be buried. Producer Tom Bell and songwriter Linda Creed paired the group's soaring falsettos with lush cinematic string arrangements. And in 1972, Betcha by Golly Wow became a top 3 pop smash and a soul standard that's been covered for 50 years. The Stylistics spent the following decades doing what so many of their peers had to do, renegotiating, re-recording, and rebuilding ownership of their own legacy, piece by piece. Today, Betcha by Golly Wow isn't just a wedding song classic, it's proof that the music outlived the men who once tried to control it. Number 9, The Delphonics. Didn't I? Blow Your Mind This Time, 1970. The Delphonics gave Philadelphia soul its blueprint and gave William Hart a Grammy Award in 1971 for a song that still stops rooms cold today. Didn't I? Blow Your Mind This Time was gold certified, radio immortal, and later became the emotional heartbeat of Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown. But behind the falsetto perfection was a business built on shaky ground. Philly Groove Records, run by Stan Watson, kept the hits coming, while royalty statements stayed murky. By the mid-70s, the group had splintered entirely, brothers William and Wilbert Hart no longer even speaking the same business language. The fight didn't end when the music did. In the 2000s, Wilbert Hart and founding member Randy Kane took their former bandmate and the record label straight to court over years of unpaid royalties, and won. A judge ordered back pay, closing a decades-long wound with an actual verdict.
Now didn't I think it, baby? But this time I'm really needing you, girl.
Then came round 2, a legal battle just over who got to use the Delphonics name at all. In 2007, a court ruled both Hart brothers could perform under it, as long as audiences knew the difference. Messy, hard-won, but real, the Delphonics reclaimed their money and their name in a courtroom instead of a boardroom. Number 8, Rolls Royce, Car Wash, 1976. Before Rolls Royce existed as a name anyone knew, these musicians were invisible.
You might not ever get rich,
They were Edwin Starr's uncredited backing band at Motown, playing behind the star, night after night, with zero spotlight and zero name recognition of their own. Then producer Norman Whitfield walked away from Motown in 1975. He'd written I Heard It Through the Grapevine and half the Temptations' greatest catalog, but he wanted his own label, on his own terms, Whitfield Records. He brought the anonymous backing band with him and gave them something Motown never had, their own identity. Legend has it Whitfield scribbled the first draft of a new song on a fried chicken paper bag.
And this ain't no place to be if you plan on being a star.
Inspired while watching a basketball game, that scrawled idea became Car Wash, the theme to the 1976 film of the same name, and it shot straight to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100.
And the boss don't mind sometimes if you act the fool. Come on and give us a play. Talking about the car washer.
2 million copies sold, a Grammy for the soundtrack, and a group of faceless sidemen suddenly had their name on a chart-topping record with their own faces on the cover.
Let me tell you, it's always good.
That's not just a hit song. That's a band stepping out of the shadows of somebody else's fame into their own. Number 7, The Dramatics, In the Rain, 1972. The Dramatics built their sound on Stax Records' Volt imprint.
It may sound crazy, but I wanna.
The same Memphis powerhouse that gave the world Otis Redding and Isaac Hayes. For a while, that address meant everything. Then it nearly destroyed them.
In the rain, think I'm gonna cry.
By the mid-70s, Stax was collapsing under a financial scandal that shook the entire label to its foundation. Mismanaged loans, a bank crisis, and a bankruptcy filing in 1975
It may sound crazy, but
that left artists across the roster fighting just to get paid for records that had already sold millions. The Dramatics had already delivered their signature song by then, In the Rain, released in 1972.
once the rain starts falling,
A slow-burning, string-drenched ballad that became one of soul's most enduring storm and heartbreak anthems, still licensed and sampled decades later. When Stax finally went under, the group didn't disappear with it.
let me go, let me go, let me go. I wanna go outside. In the rain.
They rebuilt on other labels, kept touring, kept the harmonies alive, and made sure that a song born inside a collapsing label became bigger than the label itself ever was. Number 6, The Chi-Lites, Have You Seen Her, 1971. Eugene Record and the Chi-Lites were Brunswick Records' brightest stars in the early 70s, but Brunswick's president, Nat Tarnopol, ran the label with mob-connected associates lurking in the background. When Record once pushed back during a contract negotiation, asking for more advance money, an associate in the room allegedly grabbed his nose and punched him in the face, knocking his glasses clean off. That's not industry folklore. Record testified to it under oath.
Have you seen her? Oh, I hear her voice as the cold winds blow.
During Tarnopol's federal fraud and payola trial in the mid-70s. Investigators allege Brunswick shipped hundreds of thousands of dollars of records off the books, so artists never saw royalties on sales that absolutely happened.
Tell me, have you seen her on the street and even at the picture show?
Tarnopol was convicted in 1976. The conviction got overturned on appeal a year later, but the legal war had already gutted Brunswick financially and gutted the label's grip on its artists along with it.
The sweet music on my radio. Tell me, have you seen her?
By then, the Chi-Lites had already given the world Have You Seen Her, a 1971 crossover smash built on spoken word longing and falsetto heartbreak.
But you have to leave and go away to having someone to lean on. I'm lost.
Eugene Record eventually walked away to a solo deal with Warner Brothers, rebuilding his career on his own terms, far from Brunswick's chaos.
As another day comes to an end, I'm still a lonely man. Oh, yeah.
The song survived the label. The artist survived the label. The label did not survive itself. Number 5, Betty Wright, Clean Up Woman, 1971. Betty Wright was still a teenager when Clean Up Woman turned her into a star.
A clean up woman is a woman.
A sly, funky cautionary tale about neglecting your partner, built on one of the most sampled guitar riffs in soul history. It hit gold, cracked the pop top 10, and made her one of the youngest hitmakers in Miami's booming soul scene.
Get all the lovely girls leave behind.
Being that young in an industry built to exploit young talent meant learning fast and learning hard. Wright came up watching how easily teenage artists could be steered into deals that favored everyone except the artist actually singing the song.
The reason I know so much.
Rather than stay quiet about it, she turned that knowledge into a second career. Betty Wright became one of soul music's fiercest advocates for artist education, mentoring younger singers, including a young Joss Stone, and pushing musicians to actually understand their publishing.
And like a fool, I thought I had him all to myself. Was I having fun? But I
Their royalties, and their worth before they signed anything. Clean Up Woman made her famous at 19.
for the clean up woman. The clean up woman will wipe his blues away. He's the one who'll take him in when you dump him in the street.
Everything she did afterward made sure the next generation wouldn't get taken the way so many before her had been. Number 4, James Brown, Get Up. I Feel Like Being a Sex Machine, 1970. Long before he was the godfather of soul, James Brown was just another artist at King Records, fighting label boss Sid Nathan for basic respect. In 1962, Brown wanted to capture his explosive live show on record, but Nathan refused to pay for it, convinced a live album with no new songs would never sell. So Brown financed the entire thing himself, $2,500 of his own money, out of pocket, no label backing at all. Live at the Apollo became one of the best-selling R&B albums in history, and it gave Brown something far more valuable than a hit: leverage. He used that leverage to force an almost unheard-of renegotiation, a new contract where Brown, not King Records, actually owned his own master recordings, a level of control almost no artist of his era had ever been given. That ownership fueled everything that came next. In 1970, fully in command of his sound and his business, Brown unleashed Get Up, I Feel Like Being a Sex Machine, a raw, stripped-down groove that helped invent funk music itself. And stood as proof that Brown had turned a label boss's no into total creative independence. Number 3, Bobby Womack, Across 110th Street, 1972. Bobby Womack learned the music business the hard way as a teenager, writing and playing guitar for Sam Cooke's label, SAR Records.
Doing whatever I had to do to survive.
When Cooke died suddenly in 1964, Womack's career took a devastating hit. He married Cooke's widow soon after, and the backlash from fans and the industry alike nearly ended him before he'd really started.
Trying to break out of the ghetto was a day-to-day fight.
For years, Womack was treated as an industry pariah, scraping by as a session guitarist, while artists with far less talent got the spotlight he'd earned. He kept writing, kept playing, and kept clawing his way back toward a solo career nobody wanted to hand him.
Across the 110th Street.
That comeback arrived in 1972 with Across 110th Street, the raw, gritty title theme for the blaxploitation film of the same name, a song so authentic to Harlem street life it became a genre-defining anthem in its own right.
Snorting that coke, shooting that dope, man, you can take my advice. It's either live or
Its second life came decades later, when Quentin Tarantino built the entire opening and closing of 1997's Jackie Brown around it,
catch a woman that's sweet.
introducing Womack's voice to a brand new generation and cementing Across 110th Street as one of soul's greatest comeback stories set to tape. Number 2, The Spinners, I'll Be Around, 1972. For years, the Spinners were stuck in Motown's shadow, literally. While Motown poured its resources into the Supremes, the Temptations, and Marvin Gaye,
This is our fault.
the Spinners were reportedly used as chauffeurs and opening acts for the label's bigger stars, with barely a fraction of the promotion their talent deserved.
There's nowhere to go. You made your choice.
By 1972, their Motown contract had run out, and nobody at the label seemed eager to renew it on better terms. It was Aretha Franklin, herself a Detroit soul veteran who knew exactly what neglect felt like,
Oh, you hold the key. Whenever you call me, I'll be there.
who personally recommended the Spinners to an executive at Atlantic Records. Atlantic paired them with Philadelphia producer Tom Bell, and the transformation was almost instant.
Whenever you need me, I'll be there. I'll be around.
I'll Be Around, released in 1972, became a #1 R&B hit and kicked off one of the most dramatic label switch comebacks in soul music history.
Whenever you call me, whenever you want me, I'll be there. Even if I have to crawl, I'll be there. I'll be around.
The Spinners didn't just leave Motown. They proved Motown had been sitting on gold the entire time and simply refused to dig for it. Atlantic dug and struck platinum almost overnight. Number 1, Gladys Knight and the Pips, Midnight Train to Georgia, 1973. Gladys Knight and the Pips spent years as one of Motown's most reliable hitmakers.
Oh, yes, he is. Too much for the man. To a simpler place and time. He sure found out the hard way. The tree.
Yet felt permanently stuck behind the label's true priorities. Release schedules, promotion budgets, and creative control all seemed to favor Motown's biggest name.
Take it.
So he's leaving the life.
He said he's going,
He said he's going back to find.
going back to find.
Ooh, what's
And the group grew increasingly frustrated watching their own momentum get managed instead of maximized. When their contract came up in 1973, they didn't renew it. Instead, they signed with Buddha Records, chasing something Motown had never fully offered them.
the world he left behind? He's leaving. Midnight train to Georgia.
Real creative control and a fairer financial stake in their own success. It paid off almost immediately.
I'd rather live in his world. He kept dreaming. Ooh, he once knew. Oh, yes, he did.
Songwriter Jim Weatherly's tune, originally titled Midnight Plane to Houston, was reworked into Midnight Train to Georgia, and Gladys Knight and the Pips turned it into a #1 pop and R&B smash.
That midnight train to Georgia. Yeah. And I'm gonna be with him in his world. Than live without him.
Followed by a Grammy Award for Best R&B Vocal Performance by a duo or group. It became the ultimate proof that walking away from a giant like Motown wasn't career suicide.
Gotta go in the midnight train to go. I got to go. I got to go. I got to go. My world, his world, our world. I got to be with him. In his world, than be without him.
it was liberation. Gladys Knight and the Pips didn't just reclaim their legacy with Midnight Train to Georgia. They built a brand new one, entirely on their own terms.